Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Strategic Mind the Pacific, where we get our ass kicked because we made a misclick and this coastal battery decided to blast up on us, costing us 35 prestige. Well, let's just hope that that 35 prestige won't cost us the game in the long run. We're back at Hawaii. Let's finish this bad boy up by aiming at the air facilities. They still have a couple of airfields that have not been neutralized, and we kind of need to make sure it happens. Now, I do think that it's prudent to finish this one up with an air unit. Okay, there we are. They can land on the aircraft carrier. And because there's nothing left to do here, I'm gonna send these guys over towards this region. I do need to destroy the coastal battery for that, which I will do after I've taken care of some other business. So, by moving these guys over here already, like, it's in their range, but they don't have that target because of the it's in mountains, yeah. So they only have one bomb left. I'm gonna use that on that coastal gun. And like I said, there are a few airfields left. There's now only this one remaining down here that has some air units. If I have anything that can go after it, I will use that. Anyway, these guys do have to go back to the airfield, so, or to the carrier, so there's no reason not to do that right now. Destroying the coastal gun allows these units to move further northwards and get into Pearl Harbor itself. That's a joke. Now, it's a shame that we actually can't change their equipment, because if we could give them the Marines ability and that would allow us to take over some of the flags on this map. Unfortunately, we can't.
Just show us the target.
Either way, just sending these guys out, because being in Pearl Harbor itself is fun. Alright, next up. I do need to use bombers also on this ship before it will get out of hand. Let's see first though. You guys just get out. So I need you guys to go after the airfield here. That's more important.
Here we come. A tactical bomber is here. Will there be fighters covering us? Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage. In unity is our strength.
Can you bomb even anything? Yes, you can. Okay, let's go after the coastal gun then.
Good morning.
No reason not to do that. Yeah, so it does not really matter which of these two I will use for landing.
Prepare to disengage.
Now, if they have more movement like these guys, I will send them towards the airfield, because I'm quite afraid that at the airfield I will get into trouble otherwise.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage. In unity is our strength.
Now, like I said, the coastal battery doesn't matter that much. Oh, yeah, like I said, misclicks are easily made in this game, and I will make a ton probably.
Is someone observing that area?
It doesn't always matter, like in this case, but you definitely need to try and be a bit more prudent than I am,
Already there.
because it can really cost you.
We are the fastest.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage. Is someone observing that area? Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage.
I will use some of them to destroy this here coastal battery.
The enemy numbers to 0.
The enemy won't see us coming.
Alright.
Always first.
And we can actually attack this thing from outside its range by moving in here.
Targeting the enemy.
So I can use different ships for that continuously, but not the carriers, of course. I mean, they would move in an unfortunate position like that. Okay, so you have no depth charges and 1 torpedo left. Well,
have you checked for escort ships?
That's fine. I don't mind taking a little bit of damage.
Exploring the area. They are going to see the bottom of the sea. I miss the fresh air. We are coming for them.
Okay, that one is down. And I'm gonna use the last one on that Colorado class battleship, which, like I said, is the only one with anti-aircraft defenses for some reason. Let's see what's left though.
Everything. All systems operational.
That's it. They didn't do anything. Which means we get to continue here. Let's actually do one more aviation recon on this area to see if there aren't any other coastal guns. There are not. Okay, that's good. Now, this coastal gun has its range on this here area, so we can pretty easily target it with the destroyers, and I will. There's no reason to be afraid that the battleships will act up because they are static.
That area is under our control.
So let's use you on the oil.
We surpass pathetic gaijins.
And they should be able to attack the oil fields too. Or the oil supply.
Bombs are gone. Let's get back
You
to
can
base.
land. Get back the incendiaries. Now they have another target. So, now that the enemy air forces are mostly gone, I can
Their days are numbered.
start focusing on the last few
Bombs are
important
gone.
things.
Let's get back to base. Explosions look like the rising sun. Good morning. Just a few moments and we'll
There's no real need to destroy these, but I'm just doing that for fun.
Bombs are gone. Let's get back to base.
Okay. Like I said, see, this is the only one that has anti-aircraft defenses for some reason. It doesn't even use covering fire, it just only
Unity
protects
is our
itself.
strength. You can't hide
It's
from
just
the blast waves.
a bit strange. I think it might be a bug with the emphasis on might.
Too bad for them.
Not really sure whether it is.
From below. Death from below.
It might be their design anyway. Come on. Right.
We are the sea wolves.
Okay, great.
We are coming for them.
Doesn't really matter which one I target with the submarines. They'll just keep firing until they're out of ammo. Okay.
Almost out of torpedoes. Have you checked for escort ships?
I don't really like being right underneath their
tactical
units.
bomber is
Okay, here we go. Going for that last airfield.
There better be targets.
Yeah. There's a target.
Be careful with the bombs. Be careful with the bombs. A tactical bomber is
I'd rather
here.
use dive bombers on this because they deal more damage, and I can use the torpedo bombers on the
Be careful with the bombs.
on the ships. So I did destroy the last enemy aircraft
Be
now,
careful with the bombs.
which is great. So you're just gonna
There
go
better be
for
targets.
here. It's a bit silly because your units do deal more damage if they are
Empire.
actually right on top of the enemy unit, which is what I should have done.
Is someone observing that area?
I'm gonna move that up here because then it can bomb and then move back on the next turn.
Those bombs are quite dangerous.
Also, there are these two destroyers here which we can also try to destroy relatively soon. The torpedoes aren't really suited
Just a
for
few
that job.
moments And we'll be there. Let's lose some weight. Will there be fighters covering us? We bring death on our wings.
But rather the dive bombers.
In unity is our strength. Just a few moments and we'll be there. Is someone observing that area? We're going to send them our generous gifts. Approaching.
Okay, let's go after this thing. Get out. Get the other destroyer in.
We found their weak spot.
Our
And
tactical bomber is here.
I'll
Those
use
bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
this torpedo
Is
bomber
someone observing that area?
to finish that off.
Their days are numbered. Wow, that's a hit.
With the destruction of that last one, I'll move in here and attack the radar station. Not that that's too useful. I don't know how effective that is, but you know, it's something.
The weight of our bombs
I guess
makes
every
me
little
feel
bit helps.
There better be targets. Carrying bombs to enemy lines. Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
Yes, they are.
Unity is our strength. Are we fully loaded? Here we come.
So what do we have left? Oh yeah, the fighters. Let's make sure we get to zoom in here. See that thing? I'm gonna use the zeros to start harassing that a bit. It doesn't use anti-aircraft fire, so it doesn't really...
The enemy won't see us coming.
So I'm not too worried.
Get behind them.
And getting rid of the ships as fast as possible is probably also a good idea. Because that way, even if they do get active,
Bombs to enemy lines.
they're gonna be a whole lot weaker.
Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
Almost out of torpedoes. Almost out of torpedoes.
Those bombs are heavy.
Almost out of torpedoes.
And I don't expect anything from the enemy at this stage, so that's
Those
good.
bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
Let's destroy the other cannon.
Be careful with the bombs. Approaching.
No one can escape fire. Easy kill.
Use one of the zeros.
The enemy is close. I can feel his fear.
I'm not dealing too much damage to this thing, but every little bit helps.
Are there new orders?
Alright, let's get the carriers close, because why not? And even these guys would be able to pitch in, so that's actually quite funny. I'm just gonna go after the enemy ship here.
Protectors of the fleet.
Like I said, before they decide to get frisky.
Do you require assistance?
This, you dirty rats.
Boom, that's down. And I can even use it here.
We found their weak spot. That was a perfect shot.
That's actually quite funny
Protectors
to
of the fleet.
get your battleships into Pearl Harbor this way, but
Have you
Alright.
checked for escort ships?
as long as it's it's
We
possible.
should be going back for refueling.
Silent and deadly.
Oh, you're already out of ammunition. Guess you can leave.
Fire. In need of resupply.
Yeah,
Almost out of torpedoes.
that's fine.
Critical strike.
There we go.
Beneath the waves. Almost out of torpedoes.
And let's attack here. And get these
Looking
guys
for our
out.
prey.
Be
Okay,
careful with the
there we
bombs.
are. We have a couple more incendiary bombs. I have enough torpedo boats to destroy those ships, so I'd rather just use them on things like the fuel supplies.
From the blast waves. Will there be fighters covering us?
I don't know,
You
it doesn't
can't
even help.
hide from the blast waves.
That's fine. Okay, that's the first of the fuel supplies.
We surpass
That's down.
pathetic gaijins in everything.
This carrier won't be able to attack anything, so
I'm sure
let's just move
You
in.
did reconnaissance before sending us there.
Yeah, I did do reconnaissance before sending you there. Let's see. These have been used. And what do we have left?
Do you require assistance? We serve faithfully.
Let's just get these to the
We are
side,
running out of
and
fuel.
these also
We will turn
kinda as
into an
well.
island soon.
Okay, torpedoes.
Those bombs are heavy.
So, for being out of torpedoes, it's probably
In
best just to
unity
get them
is our
back.
strength.
I'll send them out again later.
Be careful with the bombs. Is someone observing that area? Carrying bombs.
There
to
also
enemy
is
lines.
this last destroyer which is out there, which I also still need to take. If I want to grab all the enemy units on the map, I
Those bombs-
kind of have to go after them.
Be careful with the bombs.
Although, that's fine.
There better be targets. Just a few moments and we'll be there. Are we fully loaded? There better be targets. Let's lose some weight. Are we fully loaded? Will
You
there
can
be fighters
probably
covering
go
us?
back, refuel, and then target one of these.
In unity is our strength. You can't hide from the blast waves. What should be destroyed next? In unity is our strength. Explosions look like the rising sun. Good morning. Bow to the gifts of the Empire. Those bombs are... In unity is our strength.
There we go, that's some pretty decent damage.
Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
More torpedo
Carrying
boats.
bombs to enemy lines.
Be advised, 4 American battleships have been sunk.
Thank you for your great job, Admiral Nagumo. After losing half their battleships, the enemy fleet does not pose a big threat to us anymore. From Admiral Yamamoto to Prime Minister Tojo. Be advised that the operation against Pearl Harbor was a complete success. Our strike force is coming back with a victory.
From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. Convey my compliments to all members of the strike force. This is a great day for the Imperial Navy. I am now convinced that our naval power is in good hands. I have no doubt that, thanks to you and your valiant men, the enemy fleet will soon be destroyed and driven from the regions of the seas so vital to the Empire.
Right, so after you've completed all the main objectives, you can either finish the operation or continue playing. Currently, I don't have the prerequisite amount of victory points for the best kind of victory, which is 400. So I'm gonna continue playing, return to the game. In this game, you can continue the mission for, I think, as long as you want, maybe, or at least until the last timer is ended, in order to get that victory and secure your secondary objectives. So often you want to do that. Like in this case, I've destroyed some of the battleships, but I still have time to destroy more, so why shouldn't I?
In unity is our strength.
Let's go for the anti-aircraft gun here, just in case it decides to get frisky at some point. I'd rather have that down. Yeah, so we still need to get all these secondary objectives, so I kind of want to continue and finish the mission later
Imperial Air Service. Are we fully
in order to get
loaded?
those 400
Be careful with
points.
the
Because
bombs.
if we were to finish now, we'd only have 243,
Only
and
a
that's
few
not what I
bombs
want.
left. Prepare to disengage.
And the AI does not seem to be keen on doing anything anymore. They're kind of down for the count.
Can I fire? In need of resupply.
Let's get these guys
Can I
out of
fire?
here.
In need of resupply.
Yeah,
Have you checked for escort ships?
I haven't.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage.
Oh, right, they don't have any more torpedoes.
Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
Right, let's go after
unity is
the
our
last
strength.
enemy unit, which we already know where it is.
A tactical bomber is here.
Right,
The
let's,
weight of our bombs makes me feel more confident.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain.
let's get the carrier much closer. Because this way it's easier to restock up on what we need, the torpedoes.
Let's lose some weight.
Weren't they activated? They weren't activated.
Is someone
I'm starting to
observing
play
that
like a
area?
dweeb.
we
That
come.
doesn't really matter, but it's better to stay focused here,
Will there be fighters covering us?
naturally.
Imperial
Can
Air
we
Service. Let's lose some
Place
weight.
bomb? Okay.
Here we come.
There we go.
The weight of our bombs makes me feel more confident.
You still have
You
one.
can't hide from the blast waves.
There we
Will
go.
there be fighters covering us? There better be targets.
You need to land. Turn on your torpedoes before I
Is someone
forget.
observing that area?
Bomb
We have
them.
reduced the enemy numbers to 0.
You still
And
have a
unity
torpedo.
is our strength.
Blast them.
All the enemy's battleships are sunk. Incredible.
We would never have achieved such a result had we let the Americans prepare for the battle. Now I see that the plan of a sudden attack on Pearl Harbor was the only right one.
Well, we did tell them beforehand, so it's kind of weird that they're so unprepared for this. We did
Bombs
tell them.
away. Here we come. The weight of our
Oh yeah, obviously we didn't tell them that we were going to plan an attack. We weren't gonna
fighters covering us.
tell them that we were gonna bomb the shit out of
We
them.
should be going back for refueling.
Anyway, now I can get these destroyers into Pearl Harbor and
The horizon.
blast them once more. So
Your orders.
let's go after those fuel
Are there new orders
reserves.
from our godly emperor?
Yes, the godly emperor has given you new orders.
All systems
Uh,
operational. It's a good day for a naval battle.
Indeed it is. Okay, with the destroyers and the carriers inside Pearl Harbor itself, we should be having a pretty smooth sailing,
If the
I
battleships
guess,
are the
from now on
muscle
out.
of the Imperial Navy,
Let's scout out that last enemy destroyer out here. So,
Protectors of
I
the
could
fleet.
technically attack back and forth, but that's gonna cost me a bit of prestige. I could use my
Careful with the bombs.
dive bombers on it,
Approaching.
and that way take a little bit of damage on them.
Heavy.
But then after I destroy the anti-aircraft cannons, I will have smooth sailing on it.
What should be destroyed next?
So that seems to be the better approach.
You can't hide from the blast waves. Be careful with the bombs. Poor souls. Here we come. We bring death on our wings. Is someone observing that area? Just a few moments and we'll be there.
I need to land them
let
on
the
the other
Emperor
carrier.
down.
Because this carrier no
running out
longer
of
has
fuel.
fuel for
We will turn
giving
into
it to my
an island
airplanes. Alright.
They have 0 chances.
Surprised
No
those
one
troops still
can
have something.
escape our fire. Already there.
Those bombs are heavy.
We will not let the Emperor down.
Just a few moments and we'll be there.
No.
Require assistance?
Can I fire? In need of resupply. Can I fire? In need of resupply.
Alright.
We should
Let's
be
keep going.
back for refueling. Our strength is in numbers of dead enemies. Just show us the target.
Ah, okay. Well,
Are there new orders
That's-
from our godly Emperor?
keep attacking.
Do not underestimate us. Hurry! We need to support our allies.
That
Fire.
as well. So that's another destroyer down.
We bring
That'll give
death
us a few
on
more
our wings.
points.
The enemy's gonna have a tough time. Approaching.
Destroying the
The weight
very
of our bombs makes me feel
last
more
of the
confident.
fuel supplies.
Poor souls.
All the American oil tanks are bombed out.
We have achieved an important strategic success. These fuel stocks would have lasted for 10 months in an all-out war for the whole U.S. Pacific Fleet. Without them, Pearl Harbor becomes practically useless for the Americans.
I'm gonna put that voice just a bit higher. It's a bit unfortunate that both the units and that voice have the same audio control, because I really don't care about the units talking, but I do want to show off what they are saying in the briefing, so I kind of can't turn that off, I think. Zooming on the map, like zooming in is disabled, but I can't turn off the fact that they are talking. And that's a bit of a disappointment. Oh well. Anyway.
Imperial Air Service.
Yeah, exactly. You're also talking now. You're louder now, which is not what I wanted.
To send them our generous gifts.
All
Here we
right.
come.
Let's go after the power
Our
plant.
tactical bomber is here.
Yeah, I'd really rather turn that down because I think that's pretty
The weight
annoying.
of our bombs makes me feel more confident. Bombs away. There better be targets. Are we fully loaded? Here we come.
We have incapacitated the power station in Pearl City as we were ordered. I hope the result is worth the ammunition wasted.
So, you consider the attack on the onshore facilities a waste of resources? Don't forget that the destruction of the power station will leave all the military installations of Pearl Harbor without power for at least a few months. This will severely limit the enemy's ability to use the base.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's actually pretty
Our
good to
tactical
do that.
bomber is here.
Let's go after the shipyard as well.
We're going to send them our generous gifts. Is someone observing that area? Is someone observing that area? Here we come.
We should be going back for refueling.
Saving
No,
bullets
no, you
for
shouldn't.
Priority targets. Always first. Ahead of the wind.
Okay,
first.
there we go. And then
Saving bullets for priority targets.
you need to land there as well. And then go
Already
after the
there.
shipyard.
We have destroyed the shipyard according to the plan. Although I do not consider this objective our priority. It would be much more useful to attack the enemy's fleet, not the shore.
I understand your point of view. However, I'm sure that as soon as our fleet leaves, the Americans will start repairing their damaged ships. Destruction of the plant will definitely hamper the process.
That I will, but they don't have any fleet left. At least not at Pearl Harbor.
Are
So
we fully loaded?
you still needed to
Will there be
go in here
fighters
and then
covering
just
us?
land there. Then, as you can see, indeed, I don't have enough points yet, and that is because I haven't cleared all enemies yet. And I guess clearing all enemies and finishing off that last unit will
Is
give
someone
me
observing that area?
the full amount of
Those
points.
bombs are quite dangerous, you know? Be careful with the bombs. Just a few moments and we'll be there. Be careful with the bombs.
We surpass pathetic Gaijins in everything. We are
Yeah.
running out of fuel. We will turn into an island soon.
Cannot fire. In need of resupply.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage.
Okay, so
Carrying
the last
bomb
few
to
fighters
enemy line.
or bombers
someone
will
observing
now
that
go
area?
towards that enemy ship.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage. There better be targets.
Yeah,
Are
it
we
doesn't
fully
matter
loaded?
that you don't
Those
have
bombs
any
are
more
quite
fuel.
dangerous, you know?
Okay,
We have
there
more
we are.
guns than the
Let's
entire enemy fleet.
search.
If you
It's
include
there, obviously.
Are we fully loaded? Those bombs are heavy.
Let's get the incendiary bombs.
Here we come.
Target the
Their
anti-aircraft
days are
gun.
numbered. There better
Ooh,
be
got lucky
targets.
because now it can no longer damage my aircraft.
We surpass pathetic Gaijins in everything.
Well,
Just a few moments and we'll be there.
yeah, I kind of landed them on the wrong
Here we
ship
come.
again, but that's not a problem. Let's target the main
You can't
cannon now.
hide from the blast waves.
All systems
That
operation.
probably won't help.
Approaching.
However,
Carrying bombs to enemy lines. Bow to the gifts of the Empire.
Like, I don't think I
Just
can
a few
damage the main
moments,
gun
and we'll be
enough. But maybe.
there. Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know? Poor souls. Approaching.
How much of the main gun do they have left? 1 hit point?
Imperial Air Service.
Because once the
We're
main
going
gun
to
is gone, I
Our
can...
generous gifts.
Okay, good. Now I can use my destroyers,
Imperial
for example.
Destroyer at your service. Which weapon to use? Guess this
Boom.
one.
That's destroyed. And like I said, now I do have all enemies killed, and I have enough points to get all 400 out of 400 victory points. That means I can now end the mission because I have all objectives and all the points that I need. That's the maximum reward that I can get. There are no flags to take, no enemy units to destroy for more prestige. That's about it. So it's an absolute victory. I guess that's kind of like the golden victory. The enemy lost about 1840 in prestige points, and we lost 48, of which 35 was a misclick. So technically only 13 if you don't count the misclick, but well, it happens. So yeah, pretty good. Let's finish the operation. We also got 3 awards. We're now a Vice Admiral. We got the Order of the German Eagle, giving +2 air attack to the HQ unit, and we got the Order of the Sacred Treasure, 3rd class.
We did it. The Americans could not even grasp what was happening by the time we sunk their battleships. If we keep going, the victory is not far off. Long live His Majesty, the Emperor!
It is a victory. However, our main goal, the destruction of the enemy carriers, was not achieved.
Yeah, that's true.
Admiral Yamamoto, we have just been informed that our diplomats in Washington delivered the declaration of war 1 hour after our attack.
What a surprise!
This is unimaginable! Our diplomatic service has brought unthinkable dishonor upon the Emperor and the people of Japan.
I think it's Tojo.
We had to declare war on the United States before the attack. While our pilots and seamen have demonstrated combat valor and heroism of the highest esteem, our diplomats have stained our valiant effort with indelible shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right, what's done is done. Command Admiral Nagumo to attack Midway on his way back. We must not lose the initiative.
Aye, aye, Admiral.
The commander of the combined fleet, Admiral Yamamoto, has ordered you to attack Midway immediately, sir.
I am the commander of the First Air Fleet, and it is for me to decide whether it is expedient to attack or not. We will not do that. Our fleet has just sunk more than half of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, and after that, we are ordered to bomb some useless atoll? This is as if a sumo wrestler has just become a champion and was immediately sent to buy some groceries at the nearest market. It is unthinkable. I will not tolerate such disregard for me and my men. You can tell this to Admiral Yamamoto himself.
Aye, aye, Admiral.
Wow. What a giant D. Anyway, we're here at the main campaign map, and after the first mission, we can talk to some guys and check the campaign map here. We can already see that we've dealt a devastating blow. By destroying all of the US battleships located in Pearl Harbor, you get a head start on the enemy fleet. You now gain 10% more prestige for the completion of each operation. That's nice. You can see basically where our influences stretches. So up here in Manchuria, into parts of China, and then indeed Indochina and down there. Yeah, we don't actually have Midway and Hawaii, of course. We dealt them a blow there. Next up is going to be the Battle of the Philippines, unsurprisingly. But yeah, this is looking pretty neat. Not bad. Let's talk to Ugaki about the mission. Just like with the previous game, we have some guys that we can talk to and some upgrades and things to do. That's basically what this screen is, strategic screen. Let's talk to this guy.
The attack on Pearl Harbor ensured our temporary superiority over the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Yet, the course of the war will depend on how we utilize it. Apparently, the Navy will have to proceed with a series of offensive operations involving land forces to capture key islands in the Pacific. I therefore advise you to ensure the training of Special Naval Landing Forces, the Rikusentai units. I imagine they will have plenty of work very soon.
Okay, so there are going to be a couple of landing operations, huh? That's pretty good to know. I mean, it's obvious that the Philippines was going to be an operation like this, but it does tailor into how we want to prepare for the next mission as well. Let's go for Yamamoto, which of course is us, and we do get to spend our victory points into certain skills that we have. There are certain skills which are there from the previous game. Some have changed. Others are new. They actually got a bunch of new skills to use, which is great. I'm really happy they improved upon that. Overall, I think this game is a pretty big improvement upon the old game. There are some things which are still tricky. Like I said, the game is pretty much tailored in such a way that you need to play in a very specific way in order to win the missions profitably, and you kind of need to exactly know how to place everything and things like that. But yeah, they improved upon a lot of stuff. I think the voiceovers and things like that are a lot better. The animations are better. They have more of the immersive storyline telling, even though it's as ridiculous as before. We no longer get that sometimes 10-second Hitler approving of something. No, this is like good 5 minutes of cutscenes. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm quite amazed at that. So that's nice. For now, though, what I want to do with that victory points, I want to invest them into the training program. What does that do? Well, all units have enough experience for a level up from the start. So any unit that we buy will start at level 1. And if we get level 2, all units start at level 2. Now, that does not only work for the units that I have currently, and the new units, but also the auxiliary units on the battlefield will have that starting level or the starting 2 levels, which matters a ton. If the auxiliary units that you have at the start of each battle already start out with 1 or 2 levels and get the abilities that, or you can choose which abilities you want. That's just a very big bonus, and I think is actually quite worth to invest in. Also because the earlier we invest in this, the more we get out of it. It does not seem anymore like, well, maybe we can, but in the previous game you used more prestige to buy your units 1 or 2 stars of experience at the start, and then they could still level up further than that. But it seems like that's no longer possible. Maybe. So I want to invest at the very least into the training program, and then after this mission I want to get level 2. So we will have that. Then we have 100 points left, and I don't think we want to reduce this by 2. I don't think it's worth it enough. And I think also that we won't have that much prestige currently to get all our aircraft units additional equipment slots. So what I'd rather do, yeah, we already have this too. They can already embark on the seaplanes. So I'd rather have increased aircraft crews, which makes landing at an airfield read not an aircraft carrier, cost 0 movement points, which is not bad. It normally costs 5 movement points, so I think it's worth investing the points as early as possible, so we actually get the benefit earlier, and I think it's definitely useful to get that at the Philippines already. So let's do that. Now that's invested, let's go not to the campaign map, but to our units. So we can see that this Nagato class HQ unit that we have can actually be upgraded. And I guess I do want to upgrade it to the Yamato class, even though it does cost 1400, because it does have immensely more naval attack and other things just by upgrading like this. Yeah, I think even now it's probably worth the upgrade. Although 1400 is a lot. Not gonna lie. I could still level it up though. I actually want to give it the task force ability, which gives all allied naval units within 3 hex range gain +2 naval and air attack and some defense. It doesn't stack, so you don't actually want all your units to have this, but I think that for one unit, especially the Yamato class one, it's fine to do this and have some of your units be close by. Now for the Shokaku class, I kind of want to have the rapid deployment, which allows your aircraft to not lose any movement points when they land for refueling as well, which just improves things a little bit. And then as for these guys, the destroyers, I think scouting is an excellent ability. I think that's very, very good, so I do want to have that. As for the submarine, things get a bit more tricky. I think torpedo expert is a good place to start. I think unseen front is just not that useful, just like this. Yeah, sure, let's go for torpedo expert. I don't think wreck havoc does that much either. Then as for these guys, I want to start with boom and zoom, because that allows me to get the initiative over enemy fighters and be able to deal more damage. As for the bombers, I want them to start with all weather, because that way they can keep bombing even if it's raining. So that should also work out quite nicely. As for upgrades, I can actually upgrade this one for 40, and I guess I will. And none of the other units can be upgraded that I have at the moment. Now, I could already acquire some landing units, but we will also get a few already. Now, I do actually think that I want to buy at least one of the Ryujo class carriers, which is a not a full carrier, but the escort carrier. It's a smaller carrier. It can only take 2 units, whereas this one can take 3. But it's significantly cheaper. It's not as powerful either. You can see that right here. This thing has a flight deck of 3. This one of 5, for example, has a ton more HP and things like that. But I don't think the Ryujo class will get hit anyway. So let's level it up. Rapid deployment as well. And that means that I can already buy 2 more units. Now, I could technically sell off the enlarged hangar, which puts me to 5 and gives me more prestige. I think that's actually pretty decent, because we'll get the full amount back anyway for enlarged hangar. And that means that I can buy a few more ground units, and I can buy back enlarged radar later on. So I'm going to sell that for now. It means I can only buy 1 more unit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a bomber. Dive bomber, that is. I'm going to acquire that. Level it up. All weather. And I'm going to go to the equipment. So for these zeros, I actually want to discard the bombs as well. And could give them the drop tanks, but again, it's not necessarily something that I really need. But aircraft radar is really good because it removes half of the nighttime penalty to attack as well. So let's get aircraft radar for at least both of these. Then for them, I want to get the 4-level incendiary bombs, or the one where they have more of these. And let's get you those as well. And then these guys can get the better torpedoes. I also want these guys to... let's actually see though, because first of all, I do want to buy myself an artillery at the very least. Costs 410. And I do think it already has trucks. Yes, it does. Okay, good. Let's get it at least incendiary shells and additional ammunition. I think that's quite necessary for these guys. They actually switched this up a bit. I think that the ability mobile is pretty good. It means that after firing it gains 1 movement point and can move again. I think that's pretty important for artillery because usually they have some trouble with moving. So that's at least 1. Now as for more units. Could go for some tanks. Wouldn't be bad. Yeah, let's get some tanks as well. And let's level those up. Let's go for Street Fighter. Means its defense is increased by 3 in close quarters. That's pretty decent. And yeah, just moving a little bit further is nice, but not necessarily what you need. I'm gonna give it equipment. This is flamethrowers. Allows your unit to deal damage to forts, coastal batteries, and other fortifications equal to the current unit strength. And the unit receives +4 attack against the enemy located inside a building. That's pretty good. Let's do it. And I could also get another infantry. Yeah, let's get an infantry as well. And one thing that I do need... now I don't have 150. Well, really? I only get that amount back? That is gonna be a bit of a problem. I might have to... sell some of those radars, for example. That's a bit of a problem because I really want these guys to have the Marine Squad ability, which is 150. Yeah, incendiary shells is nice, but let's just get rid of the radar. Here, it's a shame I cannot actually shell these. I mean, I don't really need this on them. It's a nice thing to have, but not absolutely critical. Well, let's get the Marine Squad anyway. How much is this? 90? I can probably get that though. I only need a few incendiaries, so that's 90. Sure, let's get you back to the Type 2. And actually turn this into these incendiary bombs. So now I have 181. I can... no, let's do it like this. And then you guys can have these shells. That's good. 91. And then you can have these... you need a ground transport. Anyway. Yeah. And if I could get 50, that'd be great too, but I don't... No, let's keep you with 4. Okay, I guess we're fine for now. There's just not that much I can do besides this. So I got my unit set up and ready to go for the next mission, the Philippines. I'm pretty much out of prestige, but I'm sure we'll be out of prestige for quite some time during this campaign. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up before the Philippines. Thanks for watching this one. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Thanks, take care, see you next time, bye-bye.